What is up, everybody? This is an actual live stream, a public live stream at that. And this will be a live coaching session with Slim Trady. This is the end of his 3 months. Well, this is not the end of his coaching session with me, but this is his 3 monthly review. So we've had 3 full months together. A lot of it has not been documented. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes with his coaching. And this was actually his first green month. Not by much, but it was his first green month. Slim, would you like to chime in on having a green month? What does that feel like, man?
Definitely feels really good, especially because I was not expecting it to be green. I wasn't expecting it to be bloody red, but I expected it to be flat. And when I checked, I was definitely surprised and definitely it felt really good, that my hard work's starting to show.
When did you notice it was green? Was that like at the end of the month? You weren't like tracking it or anything like that?
Yeah, no, because through August, I was actually once in a while peeking, how am I doing on the month? How am I doing on the week? And that just, I kind of psych myself out when I do that kind of stuff. And so no, this month I just didn't even pay attention. That was my first time even looking. Was Friday
And would
night.
you say that, because would you say that the focus, well, the focus hasn't been P&L. The focus from the last 3 months has been you focusing on your processes, like your hypnosis track, not over trading, your fidget tool, patience. Um, it seems like most of your focus has been on that stuff and not P&L. Would that be true?
Yeah, definitely. But I would be a liar if I would say that subconsciously, that it wasn't in the back of my head, whether I knew it or not.
Yeah. Now I did notice there was a point where you did start to focus on P&L, and I think when that happened, correct me if I'm wrong, but your trading started to kind of falter a little bit. Or am I
Yep,
wrong?
yep. And no, you're correct. And actually, this is the same pattern that's happened to me in the past. For example, when I was trading pennies, I had 3 record days in a row. And I remember even telling my friend because he was congratulating. This was with real money, and my friend was congratulating me.
Yeah.
And I said, this week might be really good, but that does not mean that there's bad weather in the future. And I actually ended up just snowballing into trading my actual P&L. I would be up $900 on a trade, and I shouldn't even be looking at how many dollars I'm up in a trade, and I was. And then that would make my price target be over 1,000. And guess what? It never seen that, So it's a pattern that I've had before to where once I get into it, I kind of snowball into it. But at least in August, I was able to catch it before it got too out of hand.
Yeah.
But
One
yeah, it definitely,
now,
definitely
one
happened.
thing I want you to like just keep in mind, and we did talk about this in a private phone call, but I'm going to say it here just because you were green this month. And again, guys, it wasn't by a shitload, but he was green. I would probably argue to say maybe with commissions you'd be close to break even because you're
Yeah,
still on sim, but
yeah,
that's okay. As long as we're kind of in that break even realm, that's great. If you're red next month, that's okay, but it'd be nice if we can keep you kind of in this more break even realm. If you go green, that would be even better, but again, the whole point of this is has nothing to do with the P&L because P&L is reflection of everything you're doing outside of your trading, which you're working pretty hard. Last month's goal was the daily report card, and you've been pretty damn good at uploading one every single day. If you guys not seen episode 3, go watch that. We got him doing a daily report card. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about the daily report card? Because we've not at all talked really how you feel about that. Is that helping you, or what do you think?
At first, it was just like a lot of the stuff, you've prescribed me at first, because it's all part of your process throughout the trading day. And when the market's live for especially newer traders. I mean, it's probably like that for anyone, but when the market's live, you kind of get this hectic feeling, and to where you should always be watching the
Yeah.
market, or you know what I mean? So filling it out, just like how I had a problem calling things out live, it took me about a week for it to become mechanical. So filling out the report card took about a week or two for it to become mechanical, and just remember to fill it out in real time and whatnot. But so I didn't really like it at
And
first, but
that's
I
kind of like
seen,
journaling almost. You're kind of journaling on it a little bit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you didn't like it
it's
at
like a good
first.
snowball.
You
It's like a
didn't
good snowball.
you didn't like it at first. So continue. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Uh
you're good. Yeah, I didn't really like it at first, and then I Pelt was another one who's been doing. Shout out Pelt, he's been doing it
yeah.
consistently, and we've been reading each other's, and he gave me a few tips of some extra things to possibly put in there that might be worth, going over each day. And that inspired me last week to add a few extra little things, more for myself than you, just like little checklists and stuff. But the temperature column, that has helped me
I'm
tremendously.
gonna pull up while you're talking. I'm gonna pull up one of his report cards so you guys can see what because this is a live stream.
The
But anyways, the temperature column. Go ahead.
Yeah, the temperature column, so I first thing I do is for the time I put my temperature emotionally, and on days to where I'd sit there and think and end up, if I put an F, I would not trade that day. And I that was when I messaged you, that I had my temperature was a F, and I felt kind of bad that I was missing the day. And I was actually relieved to see that you were on the same side as me. You said, that's good that you didn't trade that day, because if you trade with an emotional temperature with an F, yeah, what are the odds you're gonna come out good? So I really like the temperature, and then it also can show, you know, throughout the day
And just
what.
real quick, guys, this is the temperature column, and he's grading himself every so many hours. But continue, Slim.
Yeah, so basically, if I see pre-market I had a C, but then 9 by 11 I have a B, and then I can look over at the comments from between and see what happened, what made my temperature go up or what made it go down, and then say if I started with a higher temperature, and then by 11 I'm starting, it's 11 o'clock, I'm filling out the temperature, I notice my temperature dropped a lot. That's bringing up to myself, maybe I should stop for the day potentially,
Yeah.
or at least be careful, or or sometimes I'll take a break, play an affirmation tape, go eat some food real quick, come back. But at least, like you said with the recording and me speaking out loud, it keeps it's another tool to make sure I don't fall asleep at the wheel.
One thing I noticed that you're pretty good at is you don't trade all day. Now, I would say that's a common thing a lot of traders think they need to do. They trade all day, but that hasn't been a problem for you ever since we started coaching. Obviously, you do have some experience with trading. You're not brand new. Just real quick, somebody asks, where can I download the report card? At the end of this video, I'll put a Discord link. If you can go to the Discord, and then ask me in there, I can send you the file. But this is a custom template I built. I mean, it's based off of somebody else's stuff. But and this is Slim's right here from, what was it, the other day, the 30th. But you're not trading all day, man. So why aren't you doing that?
Well, I think one of the big reasons would be I kind of used to just recklessly, and we kind of broke that huge habit. And then now it's more because I'm creating my own style, and I need to figure out so many different things that create my style, different reasons and whatnot. And so I still need to figure out, what times of days I like better. And I'm still trying to find a good trade count average number for the day to where I'm comfortable with. And I just it just took me I don't know, I took so many years to realize that most traders don't sit there and actively trade the entire session.
No. No,
No. Yeah,
no,
it's a
yeah.
lot of sitting on hands, I learned. I learned it's a lot of sitting on hands.
I think it was I don't know if it was Friday or Thursday, but I think it was Friday. I only traded for
Yeah,
7 minutes.
you were in and out in like 3 minutes. I
Seven
was like,
minutes and I
holy.
was done. It was a fantastic opener. So that's good you're not trading all day. I like how you're grading yourself and you're stepping away. So you do think the emotional temperature shit has been helping. Now what about
Oh,
the
100%.
well, now lower in the report card we have the what I learned approved upon today. For
Yeah.
instance, in this example, the more recent example, you said there were several times today where speaking my thoughts and decisions out loud from my recordings kept me out of bad trades at the open. And for those of you who are unaware, just to kind of recap, because I think I need to recap some of these things. Um, During episode 1, we got Slim to actually start trade tagging. That was one of the first things he needed to start doing. And he was grading his entries, but the problem was I felt like after the first month, he was looking at his trades from a hindsight perspective, going, "Oh, I was too early, I was too late," and I felt he was looking at charts, and you can't do that because, in my opinion, you should kind of know if you're too early or too late going into the trade. Obviously, that's going to be a little more difficult for somebody newer. As you gain more experience, you'll start to have that feel. So what I said, okay, well, we might be tagging our trades in hindsight. That's not going to be good because it's going to fuck our results. So what I asked him to do was start recording and narrating your trades live because he's recording the footage. And he started to do that. And he started to call out his... Oh, shit. He started to call out his trades live and... Sorry, I'm all over the fucking place. And we wanted to see if it was hindsight. And now that you're narrating your trades live in a session, you're starting to notice that it prevents you from getting into shitty trades and stuff.
Mhm.
So that was one of his goals that he's continuing to do. So you said speaking my thoughts and decisions out loud from my recordings kept me out of bad trades at the open, which is good. That's proof of it working. And much like the daily report card, I remember you telling me you didn't like doing this at first. There's been a lot of I didn't like doing this at
Yeah.
firsts, but
Yep.
now I told you that there will be lag in the work you're doing. So what you do today will take a few months to pay off. And now we're green, which is great. And also doing the hypnosis tracks kind of brainwash ourselves into loving these things.
Oh, which I've been listening to a lot of. I've almost been going like 20 hours a day with these tracks.
We'll get into that here in a moment. Let me wrap this part up because I do want to touch on the hypnosis tracks. Because, yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment. So, all that kept you out of bad trades at the open. I felt very confident when it came to pulling the trigger or not. I also killed most of my losing trades right away. I didn't freeze or hesitate, so chokings usually can be a problem. I also felt that I am starting to gauge the quality of my setups that display themselves throughout the day. Didn't you tell me on Friday you felt like you traded like a pro on Friday?
Yeah, that was definitely my cleanest day yet and the best to make a case study. And that was the day, unfortunately, my OBS file corrupted, but I was able to watch it through Sierra Chart Replay. But yeah, no, it was a very clean day. Felt very organic.
Now now what I notice in my trading is sometimes the cleanest day isn't the highest P&L.
No.
It's performance based. Would you agree on that?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Just like you, there's the section that's easiest trade of the day. That's how I look at it. Just what was it an easy, clean, smooth day? Did it feel the least effort?
Now, let me ask you this because we did talk about this once. When you do the what I learned improved upon section, are you sitting there and reflecting on what you just wrote? after you wrote it? Because that's part of the card. Or have you been kind of not doing that?
Like just proofreading and rereading it
So,
and then reflecting on it.
yeah,
Yeah, because
you.
it's kind of like a tool, right? To make you acknowledge the problem.
Okay, for instance, the what I learned improved this first section. There were several times today where speaking my thoughts and decisions out loud for my recordings kept me out of bad trades at the open. What I want you to do is just like let those words absorb in your mind. Just like kind of close your eyes and just visualize yourself calling out the trades and how that kept you out of bad stuff. Like kind of relive that moment for a moment. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
just
for sure. Otherwise you're
yeah,
just kind of writing it down and
exactly.
it might just fucking happen again.
And that's
So
one
yeah, that
thing.
that does make sense.
That's one thing we're going. I would say that's probably going to be more of a goal this fourth month. Is I want you to start to what you say. I want you to start to close your eyes and visualize it, and just take a time reflecting and reliving that specific moment
Okay.
on each of these columns down here. Same thing with your emotional temperature checks. Um,
Okay, yeah, that makes that because it'll really make me, get creative and think about what I wrote and dissect it more.
Because there was, I think it was Thursday morning, I took a short. I fought my way into these badass trades on a short. But the thing is, during my morning prep, I told a bunch of traders, um, I'm short biased, but I'm going to visualize every scenario. What does the open look like? Does it immediately shoot down? Does it chop for a moment? Does it go neutral for a second? Does it kind of push up and then rotate down? What does the order flow look like? Is there a bunch of limit orders pulling, or is it more solid? Do we have high retail flow, not enough mid flow? Do we have high mid flow and not enough retail flow? And what I did was I was visualizing the short, but maybe the short fails, and then there was a chance of us going up higher and continuing. So what would I do to get into that? So what I did was before the open, and this is kind of relates to the report card, is I like to do this during the open, is visualize if I have, well, because I'm a scalper, so I do need stuff to pan out, and most of the time, I don't have a solid idea on the open, but I believe it was Thursday I did, and Friday as well. But I sat there and visualized all the different scenarios, because when you get into a setup, a playbook setup, it's never just cut and dry. It can pan out in multiples of ways, and the more you visualize those different ways it sets up, the more prepped you are to be able to handle that. You go, oh, this is exactly how I visualized it setting up, or one of the scenarios, and then you attack it. So, and I greased it so good, and I think a lot of traders were kind of like, what, like, they're like, dude, you called that out and executed it just right. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's because I visualized those scenarios, and just that process helps tremendously because you're tapping into it and reliving it. So for instance, let's go to your next column. Changes I need to make from today. Without reviewing my footage, I can't. There's a fucking fly in here, and I got fucking fly traps, and it's not working. Without reviewing my footage, I can't think too much from today. I would like to do differently. One thing for sure is to pay attention to strength and volume, to wait to only play where the right amount of volatility that I prefer is. I did a good job of only playing volatility the first half of today, but I ended up taking a few paper cuts anticipating a breakdown with volatility. It came a few minutes after, but I was too early for that move. So this specific day, you couldn't really think of a change, it seemed. Other than the volatility. And what's good about this column is it's forcing you to think. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
definitely.
forcing you to think.
The first two, the what I learned, changes I need to make. Some days you really have to sit there and fucking think, and that's why I like filling this out. I prefer to fill this out after I watch my tag and review, but I can't every day, but most of the time I do.
So let's, for instance, let's do a visualization on the volatility and the paper cuts you were taking. Do you kind of remember what those paper cuts look like in your trading from Friday or not really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's kind of visualize that. What is the volatility looking like? You know what I mean? Just like tap into it. What does your charts look like? What is your hand on the mouse? How are you postured in your computer chair? What is the order flow looking like? What does that volatility feel like? What did those paper cuts look like? How were your emotions around those paper cuts? Were you getting a little tilted, a little upset? Were you not being phased at all? Were you zoned in 100%? How did it feel? You know what I'm saying? I want you to really
Yeah,
feel
no,
it.
that could
Yeah.
that instantly I closed my eyes and pictured just the smaller bars to where they should be wider, and just there's so many things, But that of course that's hindsight a little, but no, when I closed my eyes I pictured the area I was playing in and it wasn't a good area to play in.
There you go. So I think this is going to be more of a primary goal. We're going to read your month review here in a bit. And guys, when it comes to the end of the month, it should be a big deal to you guys. You need to be putting in this kind of work because this is what trading really is, to be honest with you. Um, so that's going to be one of your more bigger goals is I'm going to start to do it with you. We can get together and start to visualize our sessions together until you really start to get the hang of it. So overview, and I think we'll do that all of next week. We'll both go through our report cards, and I'll just kind of like get you into this meditative phase, and we'll just kind of relive the day together. And we'll do a week of that, and we'll see how that kind of helps with your report card process. Anyways, overview. Overall, today was a really great day. I felt in the zone the entire time I was trading. I could almost start to tell towards the end some fatigue setting in, but I was done by then. Price action also went to shit when the fatigue set in, so possibly that didn't help. I read the price action and order flow very well. It felt good. Unfortunately, my OBS footage file got corrupted. Today would have been an excellent case study for not only today, but the future. I am not worried, though, because this is just the beginning of me having clean trades. And then, easiest trades, guys. So he always goes over the easiest trade, not the biggest setup. And I see you caught that short as she was going, which was nice.
Yeah,
It looks like you
I was going
scaled it.
over your
It looks like you were
Yeah, it
scaling
did.
it. That's nice.
I was going over your timestamps for your trades because you killed it, and I took it a little bit after you.
And these are the tags on the trades for that day. I like how you actually added your tags for the day, which wasn't a requirement. So you can see how he's grading it, cut by hand, entry late. And these are tags we've gone over in, I believe, episode 2. So if you want to know more about tagging, watch the earlier episodes. Really, really good right there. Cool, and that's that. So what I will think we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start looking at your month review. Is there anything you want to potentially add to the report card? I mean, so it is helping you, you would think, or...
Oh, 110%. I did just add to my end of day checklist to visualize the report card,
Yeah.
so I'll remember that going into Monday. But no, as a whole, the report card's definitely it makes you, because part of it you fill out before and part of it you fill out during and then
Yeah.
another part you fill out after. So it's covering so many different things and it makes sure you don't forget anything. And
And it forces you to
it,
think. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because you
it
you
not
have
only
to, yeah.
think but do critical thinking. Like when I had the good day on Friday and it said what I learned improved on, I or changes I need to make, I had to really think to find some changes because I felt I had a good day. And then on bad days, when it says what I learned at initially I may feel like I didn't learn jack shit today, but that's when I dive into my thoughts and or watch my footage and I come up with something.
And that's the thing, for those of you like S&B Capital's channel, Lance Brightstein, he's like, I don't know, currently in this day and age, he's my trading hero. It used to be other guys, but he talked about the daily report card. I used to do daily report cards a lot, but Lance created a template, and what I did was I kind of changed it up a little bit. Not by much, and then I just created another template for us futures traders, and that's kind of what we're using as a spin-off of that. But the fact that Lance wants you to visualize, that for me is very important. But anyways,
Yeah, I see why though. Sorry to interrupt. I see why
yeah,
though,
no,
because just like I said, what's the point of writing all this if you're not gonna, take it in after or soak it up?
yeah. So I'm glad that's helping because, again, the reason we introduced it was I felt talking once a week or whatever wasn't enough, that I felt if we're having some sort of daily thing in place that's almost like a month review, that'll help us kind of keep the momentum. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because for a few weeks there, I was kind of lost with actually coaching him. I'm like, well, shit, man, I'm not sure if we need to do this or that. And then once the report card came in, it really did make a difference.
Y- Yeah, and at the time I mean just 'cause I'm online, I mean it's not like Discord's like works like a video game with the Sierra chart where it says I'm on it, you don't actually know, so
Yeah.
gives you a better idea of where I'm at, where my head's at, all different kinds of things. This report card, like I said, it covers a lot.
Let's go ahead and now jump into the September month in review. So, being the end of month number 3, and again, I told you this is what I want to kind of talk to about real quick is the hypnosis tracks and the manifestations and the law of attraction. I told you that by the end of month 3, you're going to look back at these 3 months and be impressed. Are you not? Do you
Definitely.
think you've
Yeah.
seen massive amounts of progress in just 3 months?
Insane amounts. Just you
Yeah.
could just take one thing I improved on, and I've improved on it tremendously. For example, the overtrading or patience, sitting on hands, so many different little aspects like that I never had 3 months ago, 2 months ago, even like
And that's good. And that thing is, I was extremely confident. So I would say that I believed at the end of 3 months you were going to see massive amounts of progress. Because month 1, we're just kind of getting warmed up. Month 2, we kind of know what we're doing. But month 3, we're starting to get into the groove.
I was just gonna say that, yeah, month three really felt like I was, rhythm in the groove.
But the thing is, I was very confident and believed. Like, I believed in you. So there's a
You
lot of,
did.
I believe you can do this. Not, well,
And
I
that
hope.
helped me.
Yeah.
That helped me, when I had a bad day and we talked or whatever, even if it was for 2 minutes, or over message, and you would just, you'd just say, keep it going or just anything, and it would just keep my spirits up because, like you said, there's a lag to this, and for
Yeah.
the first 2, 3 months. I mean, but even before that, I've been getting my ass kicked, and 2, 3 months of getting your ass kicked every day, waking up early and trading paper money and losing paper money, like that can be fucking discouraging, So to to have you, say, that like this is not an overnight thing, that's reassuring. And once you put it to seeing the progress, once you start to see progress and knowing that progress will come, makes you want, gives you drive to put in the work
Yeah.
almost.
Oh yeah, it's
That that's
snowball.
that's where I'm at
It's
almost.
like the little snowball rolling down a mountain, and then at the bottom of the mountain, it's a massive fucking boulder. You know what I mean? That can take a house out.
Yep. Yeah.
So as far as the hypnosis track, you said you're doing this a lot more now. At first, you thought it was kind of weird and goofy, but now you're doing it a lot more. Do you want to just briefly talk about that?
Yeah, I man, I never thought I would be. I never was against this kind of stuff, but 'cause I'm open to anything, but I never thought I would be listening to my own. I could never picture myself listening to my own voice in the past to doing things like this, and I not only loving it, like
Yeah.
it's to the point where it fucking works. Like I know people might think I don't know, it might sound like it turned me into a cult member or something, but like this shit fucking works. I don't know what else to say. Like the tape was at night was just me saying I'm a seven-figure trader and I'm grateful for that thanks to journaling on repeat. And between hearing that and then a week or two of journaling, I the journaling made me realize I got better at journaling, so it was easier, and I got a rhythm to journal, so it
Yeah.
felt better. I liked it a little more, when you just start, you don't know what to do, and so you don't like it, so I got a rhythm to journal, and then I realized, that the only way I can get better is to fucking journal. I will not make it if I don't fucking journal and review my shit. So I realized that, and then the rest is just the tape. And there's something about hearing your own voice. I don't know what it is, but like for example, like times I don't have the motivation to journal. It still happens sometimes. Fucking I'm not unhuman,
Yeah.
But so if I'm lacking motivation, I'll throw it on, and it's like a flip of a switch hearing your own voice. I'm not even kidding. Today I was going through affirmation. I felt when I woke up today, I felt like I was lacking motivation. So I have a tape me and you when you did that meditation thing for me on episode 1 or 2, I think. I
Yeah.
ripped that audio and threw it over a mix. So I played that my rule affirmation and then to get me pumped to journal this morning, and I only played 10 seconds of the journaling one. I swear to God, and I pretty much played the audio and closed it right after and was like, "Yep, I'm good to go."
And just so you guys know, he has created other affirmation decks, so there isn't just one. He's creating other
Yeah,
ones based on rules.
I
And
have
you've
I
gotten
have
me to
one.
do it more. Like I'm like, huh, shit, he's doing it, and we started to. So I'm doing more of it as well for myself. And I swear to fuck, it's doing it during the session is really good.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of lucked out because it's making I used to produce music, so I kind of like have fun in making them too. But so for the viewers, I have one tape where I say my rules, and I have two different versions of that with the instrumental, one being a
yeah.
nighttime based, and the other one being a more just not nighttime. By nighttime, I mean water, because I can't listen to watery noises in the daytime. It'll make me just slower. I don't know. I don't like it. But so I have one where I say all my rules from a future perspective of how I trade, and then I have the one goal for the night, which right now is journaling, and then I have a one I play throughout the daytime, which is based off of yours, where it's just the loop timer goes, and then it's me saying I'm a sniper. I'm in control of this, something like that. I'm in control of the shot. I have patience, and then that volume fades and comes back 3 minutes later, every 3 minutes with the loop timer, just like yours.
Now, what I think it is because you said I have no idea. What it is we all have this inner self dialogue with ourselves, and there's always when you're thinking about things, whatever it is, you're thinking about trading or what you want to go eat for food. There's always that inner dialogue with this voice in your head, and essentially, my theory is when you have it constantly repeating something to you and it's your actual voice, it's almost like that inner dialogue. And one of the first things to creating new habits, which journaling had to become a habit for you, um, is taking it on, and that's in Atomic Habits, right? Um, in order for a habit to become a new habit, it must become your identity. And so, therefore, if it's going to become your identity, you need to be thinking about it. And in order to create a new habit, you need repetition. And by recording your voice and telling yourself something over and over and over, it's creating repetition. You don't really have to think about it, so it's more easy, it's more automatic.
Yep.
And it's being absorbed into your subconscious mind. So if you're thinking about other things, but you're listening to the track, it's still absorbing itself into your subconscious mind. One issue I have is, like, I'm getting progressively busier, is I need to time block my life because my organization is shit. Because I need to get more efficient with YouTube and all that other shit. So I literally have a track where I talk about how much I love time blocking, and just how it's made me more efficient, a better person, making more money because of it. And I'm hyping myself up in this track. And while I'm not super consistent or good at it yet, I constantly am thinking about it now. And there are times where I start to do it really well and I'm enjoying it, but there are periods where I'm not that good at it. But the thing is, it's this repetitive thing, and I'm starting to take on this identity of I'm an organized fucking individual. So for those of anybody out there, if you're having any issue in trading, for me, I'm finding this method to be the best. I may do it. I'm probably going to do a tutorial for how to make these tracks and its own specialized video for it, because between me and Slim, we're both getting results, right? And it's not just a placebo for me. I mean, I guess it could be, but seeing him get results from it as well is really solid. So, and that's another thing. I really did believe I was a 7-figure trader, even though I'm not there yet. I've had this last month was insane for me. So I'm on track to getting there in maybe a year or two, I would hope. But just really believing in it, and then it's one thing to, like, believe in something. Like, I love journaling. Yeah, I don't really love journaling, right? Maybe at first you felt that way. I really don't love it. But the more it's being absorbed into your mind, the more you start to feel it in your core, and you're like, I actually do love it. Would you say that's true? You didn't love it at first, it was just kind of words, but over time it started to shift into, wow, I actually do enjoy this.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not sure if it was in episode 1 or 2, or if it was just on a private call when I said it a few months ago, but at one point I remember specifically telling you, like, that how I'm talking to myself as a 7-figure trader from the future. I genuinely believe that that's me talking to myself from the future. So if you make it real, it is what you make it, you know?
And the whole point is, I mean, the more you think of yourself in a specific perspective, the more you act on that. Because if Slim constantly talked about how he couldn't do it or he's not good at it, well, then you're going to get more of that. So by him stoking himself up and brainwashing himself or hypnotizing himself into loving certain things, he's more inclined to actually doing it. And he's taking it on as an identity, which is solid. But that's good. That's working for you. And I'm glad you're doing it all the time now.
Yeah, just real quick to add to you talking about what you were just talking about, how just playing the tapes kind of, is just beating it in you. And I would looked up theta brain state a little, and it said, obviously it happens when the body's relaxed. So
Yes.
about an hour or two before I go to bed, I'll like get comfortable, dim the lights, and for about an hour I'll go through certain tapes, and I'll put my rules one on loop, and it's about 3 to 5 minutes of me saying different rules spaced out, and then I loop that, and I would just listen to it. I listen. I keep it on a lot, and to the point where it's kind of like what you were saying, where whether you're focused on it or not, you're hearing it, and it's like force feeding you.
And
You know?
that's also important. You do want to change your brain waves, and you want to be in a more relaxed state because you're more inclined to actually absorbing this information in a subconscious state. So that's why I told you originally in several episodes back, I believe episode 2 or whatever, we need to do this when we're going to sleep.
Yep.
Or you can do it through a meditative state because now we're really absorbing the information. And I just feel this method is a way to make it easier to become the trader you want. You know what I mean? Because you don't really have
Yeah.
to think or go in the. It's just like put it on and just keep
Exactly.
listening
Like
to
I
it, and
said,
it works.
the force kind of force feeds you, you know? You
But
don't have a choice.
that's
But you gotta
also
believe it and you have to be willing, you know?
that's old school shit though. If you really think about it, back in the 80s or whatever, they used to have shit on cassette decks that you play at night. I mean, hell, they
Hmm.
have like you can learn a
Oh yeah.
language in your sleep. So, I mean, this is
Yeah.
nothing new, but it's just interesting to kind of introduce this into trading. Um, but anyways,
Yeah, and I would even do it in the mornings as well. I have I told you how I layered a couple over EDM mixes because I
yeah.
wanted to experiment with beats per minute and whatnot, like possibly trading with the metronome to keep me at a good pace. But so when I wake up, I have an affirmation tape, my rule tape I play immediately when I wake up, and the background's more positive, and I like to think it gets me going on the right foot because when you wake up, if you wake up late for work and
Yeah.
your whole day is thrown off. You know, when you wake up early, well slept, you know, you can make breakfast 3 times. You have enough time. You know, you end up having a better day, or at least a better start to your day.
And
So
yeah, dude, and that's another thing, having the affirmation deck, playing it before a session and
hmm
then playing something during the session. If you have a goal you're actively working on, you can make an affirmation deck and just play it throughout the session and just kind of like
yep.
listen to yourself telling you your goal over and over, and you're less likely to forget it, and it allows you to stay aware of that goal. I mean, there's so many
Yeah, like I
methods.
want to get
Yeah.
I want to get the best entries right now. So my daytime tape, every 3 minutes, the timer goes off, and it's me telling myself I'm a sniper, that they can't see me. I choose when to pull the trigger. So that it's constantly reminding me.
And guys, if you want to hear some of these affirmation decks, go to episode 3, go in the description, and there's a link to mine and his as well. But let's go ahead and jump into your review for the month. So,
All right.
September month end review. And Slim is required to give me a write up at the end of each month. He says, being the end of the month, number 3, looking back at my first month end write up, it felt like light years ago. In July, the end of the month, I was having issues with hesitating. I also said I didn't like going against the grain. By going against the grain, I meant buying low and shorting high rather than trade breakouts and momentum, my style. And also, well, oops, hit the camera. So, one thing that's interesting is this year, I'm seeing it on Twitter and a lot of shit, is this year is a different year than 21 and 20. A lot of these momentum, here we go, trades aren't really working as well, and I've had to make drastic adjustments, especially during the summer. I wouldn't say drastic adjustments, but more mean reverty type trades. So we are in a different environment, and what you've done is you're starting to adapt to that. So that momentum
Yeah.
style will come back at some point. Anyways, I still have the issues of trading like that, even though it's the least risk. I just prefer to play breakouts. I believe I can dial in how I gauge momentum through screen time from reading price action and continuing to read order flow daily. For example, I already feel more confident playing breakouts than I did 3 months ago. That's good, because I am more advanced at reading order flow, as well as my workspace is a lot more efficient now. So you're getting better at reading order flow. Do you think, I noticed you started to record your sessions and I never asked you to do that. Would you say that recording and reviewing your actual session is getting you better at reading order flow or doing the tick drills, or was there something that you noticed that might stand out? Uh,
Oh fuck yeah. It
what would it be?
definitely
What would it
the
be?
the OBS was game changing. It first it just I mean overall it it's me getting more screen time essentially because I'm watching live markets and not only that, it's me rewatching my trades. So it's almost a guarantee you're gonna see one little thing minimum that you didn't see in the trade because, when you're in a trade, you almost have the blinders on. You don't even know it, but you might be looking for certain stuff and ignoring, selective hearing kind of like thing. But
Yeah.
it definitely and what originally at the first few months, I remember you saying to just relive the winners and to not really focus on the losers because I believe I told you how for
I
the
just actually
previous
want to
year.
correct you. You're the one who actually said, I've noticed I've been kind of reliving the winners. You're the one who did that. And I'm like,
Okay.
holy shit, that's actually a good idea, and I kind of encourage you to continue to
Is
do
that how
that.
that formed?
Yeah,
No
yeah. So it
shit.
was you. It wasn't me. So you're the
No
one who
shit.
came
Yeah,
up
well,
with
'cause
that. Yeah.
no shit. Yeah, because I remember telling you how I would spend more time because on Trader Sync there's tags, two different tags, setups and mistakes. And I just naturally thought, to focus on what I'm doing wrong more. So I've completely just blocked that out pretty much. I haven't paid shit attention to if what I'm doing wrong necessarily. I mean, I do a little bit. I'll check like my trade time in between time in between trades, how long I'm in it on the losers, things like little things, but for the most part, I'm just rewatching winners. I upload my sessions to YouTube, and then I'll go through them and the good trades I timestamp in the description, and then I'll even copy that timestamp to my to the trade
Yeah.
description on TraderSync so I can quickly pull it up to reference. And yeah, just for fun now. Yeah, it was the other night. It was midnight, and I was like thinking I should probably be going to bed, and I just wanted to sit there and keep watching my footage. So it feels good too, you
And
know.
and
But yeah,
yeah.
yes, it is helping me notice things. It's helping me dial in faster because without that, I would only get the 3 hours. That was the problem. Is
You're getting more
I don't
reps. You're getting more trading reps in.
exactly. That's why it also made it discouraging because when you're trading, you only trade for an hour or two a day, say four max, if you don't want to trade the entire session, which you shouldn't. And so it just has been discouraging because each day you put in all this work just to get 2 hours of data, and then you got to wait for the next day.
Yeah.
So this definitely has helped in so many different ways.
And
I
that's
never
what I
thought I would
like
be
is
utilizing it this much, let alone loving it.
what I
Like,
like is you started doing things I didn't even fucking ask you. You started the recording the trades and you started looking at the best setups. And I'm like, these aren't goals. You don't have to do it. Because I don't want you to get overwhelmed with shit.
overworked.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
fucking fly needs to get the hell out of here. But
Well, I mean,
anyways,
when you asked me the question in the beginning, what made this drastic change when you noticed it, what caused it, and a lot, well, talking regarding you saying, me doing some different things that you didn't necessarily tell me to do, it kind just, just this whole experience helped me kickstart my motivation. A few
yeah.
months ago, or the beginning of the year, I told myself I was kickstarting everything and really shifting it into the next gear. I truly wasn't. Maybe I was trying harder, but no, I was still skipping steps. Now, this has inspired me and from the videos on your channel, yours are so unique to where honestly just your videos alone on your channel has enough to if you just follow that like the sauce is there, it's just
But I also want to, I mean, you deserve a lot more credit than you're giving yourself because not everybody's coachable. But the thing is, you're listening, you're doing what you should be doing, and you're just doing the work. And it's you, man. You're the one who's doing it. You're the one who's clicking the button. You're the one who's tagging the trades. You're the one who's sitting there gaining the experience. You're the one who's doing the visualizations. You're the one who's listening to hypnosis tracks. You're the one who's doing it. So
mhm.
all I'm simply doing is just kind of like guiding you ever so slightly. but you're the one who's doing all of this. This is you, man. So, and one thing I do want to say is, as far as like looking at your pre-recorded footage, I mean, I've been doing that since 2017, the end of 2017, to be fair. And when you watch that recorded footage, you're going to see things you didn't see when. And here's the thing: when you place a trade, there's more emotion tied to placing that trade. So when you go watch you place the trade, it's just like, it's not like watching the market and you're not taking a trade or watching somebody else's trade. There's more of this like personal investment into that trade. And when you see the order flow around it on the recording, you'll often see something you didn't see before.
Oh.
And for some reason, that little thing will just go into your brain and stick. And then you'll see it again. And then you rewatch the footage, and then you'll see something else. You're like, huh, I didn't even see that. And sometimes when you take a dumb trade, you're like, oh shit, it was screaming at me not to take it. And
Oh yeah, there'll be times where I'll instantly be yelling out loud, like, "Why did you take this?"
yeah, and you're essentially, that's how you get better at reading order flow. I mean, order flow is just not like learning other things like charting techniques or whatever, because it's these numbers that are flashing. And in order to really learn it, you just kind of have to look at your pre-recorded footage, and you're just slowly gaining this experience. But
Yeah, like for example, to what you were saying, like when I review my footage, I'll almost instantly notice things along the lines of like one time I noticed, looked right up at the dom and seen that there is like 1,000 on the offer, a couple ticks up. I didn't notice that in real time, or just the bids getting pulled, and that's what
yeah,
caused price to fell. Or the other day I was rewatching the tape and noticed a prime example of major absorption, which was kind of ironic because I watched your absorption video a couple days prior. But yeah, it's wild how quick when you rewatch it you see stuff that are almost flags or signals, because you're in the trade and you're in that mindset.
yeah. Let me ask you this. Now, so I try to do tick drills still. I still do tick drills, usually Monday afternoons, at least once a week, because it's so important for me to kind of just go to the roots of just trading order flow with no charts. We prescribed you doing tick drills because I believe statistically Monday sucked for you. So it's like, okay, well, how about Monday morning you do some tick drills? Are you still doing that once a week, or did you kind of phase out of that?
I stopped it. I put it on pause for
Okay,
now,
that's
just
not a big
just
deal. I
because
was just asking.
I still do, because I have that side simulator account, so I'll do more kind of unorthodox ones. But as far as official tick drills, I put it on pause
But you're
just
doing
because.
something different, and that's okay. You're
Exactly.
still kind of doing this little fast-paced
Yeah,
shit.
I'll go
Okay.
on the second simulate. I'm doing tick drills. I'm just not like the way they're intended. I'm just not recording it and reviewing it just right now, because I just feel, I as I we were
See,
talking
I'm not.
about
I don't
fatigue.
care about the recording and reviewing part. Are you still doing
Oh,
them? Are you still kind of doing it?
not
Not
not at the
really. That's
moment.
okay.
No.
That's fine.
No. Just because I don't want to. I feel like if I do it, I just don't want to cause too much fatigue that would affect my trading. But it's definitely something I want and need to do, because as you know, I want to get better at order flow, and that's a great fucking exercise. So.
So let's move on. Let's talk about, because we got a lot to cover here. Let's talk about the hesitation. You mentioned in that first paragraph hesitation. I still think it's something I have to address, although these past few days I've been feeling more confident. What do you mean by the hesitation? Are you
More just when it's going against you, I have an emergency stop, because you helped me introduce the cut by hand tags, which before I wasn't cutting by hand. I would just let it fucking hit my stop. So
So you're talking about
which is insane.
hesitating on exiting the trade or getting into the trade? Exiting?
Here I was talking about exiting. I do hesitate a little to enter, but I'm getting way better at that from doing the call
Okay.
outs. But no, this is about exiting. or cutting by hand basically. I'll kind of freeze sometimes, or I would a lot more. And you get that gut feeling where you know you should get out of this because you just seen something, but you still stay in it and just watch it slowly tick up or till it hits your stop,
So
you
let's
know?
talk about the hesitation, because now that we do now that I officially have 60 days of you listening to the hypnosis track about, because about 60 days to build a habit, I believe. Now that you've been listening to the same hypnosis track for three-ish months or something like that, or 2 months, 2.5 months, I think we need to start creating a new one. So maybe we could do a hypno track on hesitation, but I'm going to continue to read your review up here. And, but I just kind of throwing that out because, I mean, and those of you watching this, this is an actual session. So for me, I'm trying to help him figure out, you know, for those of you, because some people watch the channel or actually coaching other traders, this might give you an idea. But anyways, so the hesitation thing sticks out. Let's kind of move to the next thing. One example of being quicker to act is I'm cutting much more trades by hand now. Now, I remember you telling me that was an issue. Now we're starting to do that more, which is good.
Yep.
And you just mentioned that you still feel there is a bit of hesitation there. So that might be something we could attempt to clean up going this month. And guys, if he cleans this up, this is how you get better P&L. Actually, I never really was at the start. I would just be high on hopium and let my emergency stop hit, and most likely freeze watching it happen. Now, I cut a good amount of trades. I recognize my edge has gone down and gotten out. The tag cut by hands are what started this great improvement. So I'm glad we started using that specific tag. The past 2-month reviews, I wrote that I was failing to recognize quality setups. It's almost funny because looking back, I had no idea what a quality setup of mine even was or would look like in real time. The past month, I have not only been able to identify what setups or indicators and price are a good fit to my personal trading style I'm currently creating, but I am slowly building confidence in these setups and developing telltale signs and other things to be able to gauge the actual quality of the play. I do want to touch on this. Give me a second, though. Calling out my setups has forced me not to chase and take better trades. Sometimes I would catch myself forcing setups that really weren't there, but I got past that. So as far as developing the telltale signs, and if anybody in here is a newer trader or lesser experienced, I often do get questions about, you got a lot of traders, or especially new guys, are looking for these black and white answers, or like, when should I buy it? When should I sell it? And what exactly does the order flow look like? And it's like, well, it's so gray. What you have to understand is when you're taking any type of playbook setup, they're all slightly, while they might be familiar in a broad sort of view, like a specific playbook setup for me would be like a mean reversion on a neutral bell curve, you know, just bring it back to the middle. But to nail that is not that easy. And the way the price action is, just forming that neutral bell curve is always slightly different. So there is so much nuance to trading your specific setups. What does the volatility look like? Are the bid and offers pulling? Is it rollover? Is the market more stable? Is the volume a little bit lower, or is it a little bit higher? So there's all these little nuances. You know, how big is the average volatility? Is it, we're seeing 2-point moves, or is it getting stuck in 3-tick ranges? And then that's gonna, your approach has to be adjusted. So what Slim's doing is he's starting to find all these little nuances to it. And it's important that when you do find your playbook setups, your good plays, there is so much nuance to it that I think the myth of, well, if you can't, because some of you may have heard this, it's been floating around the trading community, you should be able to explain your edge in a simple sentence, and that's a loaded dog shit. because if it was that simple, then the failure rate in trading wouldn't be so high and it wouldn't be such a difficult job. There's so much nuance to your setups that you can often hand somebody your edge and they simply are not going to pull it off. They're Slim, you know my edge, because you have listened to me trading live in the moment.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do what I fucking do, even though you have a good
'cause
understanding of it. Yeah.
I'm not as fast as you. You know, you have the experience of being that quick, you know? And even just watching your trade reviews, I have to, you know, rewind a little bit because it's
It's
a
fast
faster
as
style.
fuck. It's a very
Yeah.
fast, and the problem is, like, if you're coming into these trades, you start choking and shit. I mean, it's kind of like if somebody's watching a sports game and some guy's sideline coaching, like, "Why'd you fucking throw the ball, you idiot?" And then it's like, yeah, easier said than done. You're a spectator. You're not that athlete in the moment who's got to make this split-second fucking decision.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
and your perspective being a speculator or spectator is different than the guy who's on the field. So
Yeah.
it's
I like that.
there's a lot of nuance to it, and you're starting to dial that in. And once you really hone that shit in, then you're gonna start to be able to scale A+ setups. And one of my biggest goals that Slim has actually witnessed me pull off since we started our trading sessions, I believe just the last month, is I told him I want to start scaling up size on A+ setups. And this month I did. And my God, it has made a massive difference. This is
Yeah, and I actually witnessed it live, and you said that goal about a month and a half before, so me watching you complete a goal and seeing how long it took, you know, that it wasn't instant, that was just more inspiration and, you know, confirmation that it's fucking doable.
and this is a whole nother topic for another video. I've obviously been doing a studio renovation, so I haven't been consistent on uploading, but I think scaling A+ setups is a fucking game changer. And now that I'm experienced, because I'm still a developing trader, now that I've experienced this is something I want to eventually push Slim into doing. But he has to know exactly what those setups are, and that's what he's doing. He's in the process of feeling that shit out. So
See, one thing when you were talking about the black and white and in the process of figuring that shit out,
it's great.
I think it's natural. Most humans, I think it's just in human nature to just think things are in black and white, or I don't know if it's the internet or what, but even if you just look at how people think normally, they just think, oh, this did that, so that means this, and it's trading. I'm still
Yeah.
struggling with it a little bit. I at least know it's not black and white, but now I have to find and get comfortable with all the context to know it's not black and white.
Well,
If that makes sense.
yeah, it does. I think most traders are searching for black and white, which I would argue to say is the holy grail of trading. I do this when this happens and make money.
Yeah, buy at support, but how's the order flow? Are
Yeah,
there buyers there, or what's the daily look like?
Exactly, and the more you start to go through this journey, the more you start to realize how fucking gray it is. And once you can accept that fact, then you're able to go to the next level. Some people don't want to accept the fact that it's so nuanced and it's so gray, and this is a skill-based job. So anyways,
yeah, like in the Big Short when they say like 2 + 2 = fish. I always think about that. Like you'll see people complaining like, "Oh, this company had great news, but it went down," and it's like, it's not fucking black and white.
And there is an element of randomness there. There really is, because we really don't know who's going to come in and buy and sell after we get into our position. So therefore, the expected value of the trade starts to shift, and that's something I've been using heavily over the past few months, is expected value. Again, that's going to be a whole nother video, so there's going to be a lot of content coming to the channel. Other than just these coaching sessions, which we've been kind of heavily focused on. We're going to still continue this, obviously, because I want to see if oops, shit. I fucking lost my camera. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. So, because I want to see if I can get him Slim consistent, and if I can do that, then maybe I have a shot at being able to actually coach people. But anyways, let's go ahead and go to the next thing. In August, you said in August, I made the change to trade minis rather than micros, and I mentioned this to you. If you guys are a trading demo, don't fuck with micros. I think it's better to do minis, but that's just my opinion. You can do what you want, but because I would like
that was such a great prescription.
And the goal with you is to get you to go through a combine at some point to pass it to get funded. And I think it's better just to trade minis so you have a feel, because micros, whatever. But trade trade what you would want to trade, but you don't overdo it. You just don't trade 20 lots. Eventually you want to get there, but let's keep it realistic. 2, 3 lots, 4 maybe. And then go for a combine, and that'll be an interesting episode once we get to that point. But in August, I made the change to trade minis rather than micros, something I'm very glad I did. I took 290 trades in August and only 90 when I only took 97 in July. Now, the reason the July number was so low is because we were trying to curb the over trading. So I think you weren't being as aggressive, but I remember the prior month, you got a little too aggressive.
Yeah.
I admitted that in the middle of the month I had relapsed to over trading, and he's referring to August. And I caught myself before things got too bad. I had a goal in August to work on patience. This is something else I know I need to work on, so let me actually make a note of that, because we may want to start to do a hypnosis track on patience, because honestly,
I think that at least something patience related.
No track on patience.
Because if you think about it, how we're a big goal of mine is entries, and we've always talked about that. Patience is the key to entries, no? So I feel like patience would be
and that's been one of my biggest issues that I still work on aggressively, and I've gotten a lot better. So
I think that's one of those things that you can work on forever.
So let's go to the next thing. Work on something else I know I need to work on. But from the footage I reviewed from September and what I remember, I displayed patience that I have never had before. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, that is awesome.
Thank you.
Speaking my thoughts out loud has helped me not only stay focused, but has kept me from taking bad trades or chasing price. Another benefit to narrating your trading out loud is it allows you to be self-aware instead of falling asleep, because oftentimes traders fall asleep and you guys are just staring at something and you're lost in other thoughts and you're no longer paying attention. And I know you're reading the book Bounce by Matthew Sid. I'm not sure if you got to this section, but when it comes to practicing for top performing athletes, it's one thing to go to the driving range and playing golf and smacking the ball, but if you're thinking about other shit, you're wasting your time, whereas you need purposeful focus. And when you're really thinking about how you grip the club, how your stance is, how you're swinging your hips, how your arms are tweaking, what is everything looking like in that stroke? Where can I make the slight adjustment in my posture to hit the ball a little better? And then reflecting on every single shot. That purposeful focus and you calling it out is allowing you to stay awake and to pay attention. Because there are a lot of traders that bitch and moan that order flow doesn't work, but they are not paying attention to the order flow. They're just staring at it and not really getting sucked into it. And
sorry to interrupt, Lance.
No, go ahead.
Lance kind of, I seen this in, he was speaking on YouTube, and he kind of touches on that a little bit, where he talks about, when it does, like you can't just be the guy that's there, even if you're showing up every day. If you're just sitting there staring at the charts in La La Land, like you're getting literally fucking nothing from that, like you got to show up and pay attention.
He actually liked one of my tweets the other day. I was fucking stoked. But anyways,
Oh, nice.
yeah, because it's like that's a celebrity for me. But
Fanboy moment.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I've had a personal sit down with.
What tweet was it?
I just retweeted something he said. It was about community. At Real Fat Cat 1 or some shit on Twitter if you guys want to follow me, but it's really not that great. Yeah, so the focus and staying awake is super important. I did want to add something onto that, but I forgot. So okay, well, I don't fucking remember. But anyways, let's continue. I had a goal in August to work on patience. Speaking of thoughts had helped me stay focused when you do it out loud, which is good because awareness is huge in trading. But has kept me from taking bad trades or chasing price. So that's good. We originally did it. We originally had you speaking out loud to prevent hindsight with tagging, but now we're starting to see a residual effect from you doing that. So there's multiple benefits to actually calling shit out. So that's good. And guys, I'm learning. This is a guinea pig for me. Overall, the progress and change I've witnessed over the past 3 months has been astronomical. And I told you it would be. Not only, I'm not just saying that to bullshit you, I'm sort of manifesting the fact that, like, I believe it. So I'm kind of putting it in the universe to get spiritual on you. But we're both on the same page. And I do want to briefly talk about that because there was a trading day a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, where I went to the gas station before the market opened and my car wouldn't start. And I had to walk 2 miles home. And I got home 5 minutes before the market opened. And I sat down and I crushed a trading session. And Slim is like...
Crushed it, which I watched you trade.
Live. He watched me live trading crush it. And you mentioned how if that had happened to you, you would have been upset. But this is...
my temperature would have been an F and I wouldn't have traded that day.
But instead, my mindset was the car broke down, and this is the importance of having a positive mindset, being optimistic, and this takes years to get to this level. My mindset was, you know what? The car will still be here. I'm going to just go trade. I'm going to have a good day, and I believe I'm going to have a good day. And I walked 2 miles. But it was, you know what? I used to run every morning. Where I currently live now is off the highway, so I can't really go for these morning runs. And I'm like, you know what? The weather is very nice, crisp, cooler air. I live in Texas, so it gets hot as fuck. So I'm like, I'm going to just enjoy the fucking walk. So I enjoyed the walk. I got good exercise in. It's 2 miles. I ran the last quarter mile, which was good. I sat down, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking crush it. And you know what? I visualized my car not getting towed, and it didn't. And I had a friend come over in the afternoon, and we towed it in, and the starter was broken on it, and I fixed it that day, and there it was, and I crushed the session. So one thing is, I would say a lot of things you learn in your trading starts to reflect in your everyday life, because trading really is a life-changing thing. And learning to not get tilted is so important in trading, right? Because you don't want to take on bad trades and fuck yourself. But also, that starts to transfer into your everyday life. Like, if something happens, like your car doesn't start, you don't get as upset. Or if somebody cuts you off on the highway, you don't get upset. So I think working on just that mindset is so imperative. But let's continue. Overall, the progress and change I have witnessed over the last 3 months has been astronomical. I've come so far in such little time but also, to be fair, you did have a couple years of experience, so you're not fresh. But anyways, we kind of unlocked that. We kind of got you doing the right things. You have experience and all that shit, but we kind of just got you to do the work you need to do, and I think you've always been performing at the level... I think you've had the ability to perform at the level you're performing at, or better.
So much harder on
yeah,
myself.
I think if you've done this work since the beginning, you would already be
there. Oh,
there.
Definitely. I've been making it way harder on myself.
Yeah.
But I have about 2 years of from 2020 and whatnot of just bad habits that were created. So that's why this was so hard to get over the first initial main hump, like the overtrading and stuff. But
So I think
when you have a
beneath,
2 year
yeah.
bad habit, it's hard to break it. But I think we're breaking them.
Well, I think beneath all this bullshit, you are a really good trader, but now we're just kind of fleshing it out. I think you do have the experience, but now we're just fleshing it out. Because I feel if you were brand new, this would definitely be a lot more difficult. But I think you're starting to
Yeah,
see
for
more
sure,
rapid
for
progress
sure.
because there is the experience.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah,
I like to. I've spent countless hours Friday nights going over 101 anything, whether it's
yeah.
reading, all that shit, books, videos, all that, to where even a few months, 6 months ago, I even knew, reading, I can read, reading's not going to help me. I need screen time, you know, and it was more than screen time. I needed a journal.
So let's continue. I have come so far. You went from taking 100 trades a day to essentially two. How many trades did you take this month?
Uh, I took 131.
Shit, man. That's impressive. To go from
Yeah,
that drastic of an overtrading to,
that's how much I would take in a day, relatively.
So you essentially went from gambling and and despising journaling to taking 5 trades in one day to having trades tagged and footage reviewed before the market close. I've become so much more disciplined, and I plan on working on it each day. I not only now have favorite setups of mine, but I am starting to create a way of how to gauge when specific setups are strong or weak. Not only, and I read like a retard, sorry guys. Not only have I been learning how to become a better trader, I'm slowly becoming a better person as well. My coach told me that I would not go red to green right away, and this has stuck with me. And it's going to be a slow transition. Again, if you're red next month, that's okay as long as our skills are improving. I would like you not to be, but, that's not the main focus. Looking at these stats from August and September, I believe I am making my way to the green side for good. Having my first green month with futures was such a rewarding feeling after all the hard work I've been putting in. The best part is I was not expecting to be green for September. This tells me I finally am starting to fully subconsciously not think or worry about P&L. I am extremely excited to continue to put in the hard work. So let's look at some other stuff. List of minor things I believe I should work on over time. I like how you put this list together. Find a middle for where to set my emergency stop, so you're looking for that. Don't move my stop. Have you been moving your stop? Has that been an issue?
Well, I do move it based on because I have my set stop and take profits for buy ticks, but I rarely keep it. I'll adjust it a little bit to the chart,
But
but
are you pulling it
there,
completely?
yeah, there I'm referring to few times where I am t on hopium and I'm moving it to see what happens, like bad moving stops.
Okay. But it's not really that big of a deal, or is it?
No,
Okay.
no, it's just I mean it is a big deal because if you move your stop once that can ruin your day, but it's not an extreme problem, no.
Okay. So, being able to anticipate and properly play volatility shifts, uh, which that's gonna take experience. Find an average number of trades to take per day that fits my style. Um, at some point, you're gonna just keep continuing to trade setups, and we're not gonna need to really worry about that trade number. But
Yeah.
anyways, I do need you to continue to work on not over trading.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I put that is just so I still have an idea. Because like right now, like in the 15 to 10 to 20 ballpark, I seem to have liked last month, and I as of September, I was starting to think maybe like 5 to 10. So I'm not saying I have to take that many. I'm just gathering, how many I'm just keeping track of it just to, make sure I'm not going back to my old ways and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And because I'm, figure out my style and things like that.
Okay. So pay more attention to price using the charts and DOM visually. Getting better at reading the DOM. Finish getting better at scaling. That's a lot of things to work on. Those aren't going. I don't want that to be main goals of the
No,
month, you
those
know what I
aren't.
mean?
Yeah, on my report card, I have day, week, and month
Okay.
goals, and the month goals are way more month oriented. They're each oriented to the time frame. And I just put these as things that stuck out from the report, this 3-month report, basically.
So what I like is you put the July, August, and September stats. So July win rate was 55, 49, then 47. So it did progress. It did go down a little bit, but that's okay because I told you that over time, that stat will
Hmm.
start to probably taper off a little bit. Win rate isn't a big deal. Like I fucking had an insane um I had an insane month, really good month, and I was at a 44% win rate for the month. So, average. So, July, September, 47. So you averaged all the months, it seems. Or wait, July,
Yep,
September.
yeah, that July, September
Okay,
is
so we're
the
at
3 month.
47. Average win $30, 200. Well, that's because we went from micros to minis, so that did skew the
Yeah.
results. So we went 260 to $300. Average loss. So this month you are picking up a bit more, like $55 more, or $50 more, roughly, than your average loss. So there is an edge there. Whereas last month you were losing more than you were making. So you did have statistical edge this month. Biggest win, you pulled a K, which is good. How many lots are you trading?
3.
It's good. Let's see, biggest loss. And again, you're more of a scalper. Um,
Yeah. About 30 seconds to 2 minutes max on a trade.
I like how your biggest loss wasn't more than the biggest win. Let's see, trade counts. So, anyways, it's kind of good to see that we are seeing progress this month. It's not drastic, but we're seeing it.
Yeah, I really
Um,
like how the September column looked.
and I want you to do that on the next report if you could. Um,
The month one? Yeah, I'm gonna save this as
yeah.
like a template for the month ends.
So equity curve since beginning of July. Okay, so this is everything. Interesting. So,
Hmm.
I also marked a yellow line where the big event happened in my life. That was okay. That happened like a week or two ago, correct?
Yeah, mid-month.
Okay. The
And
week.
that green line is when I switched to minis. That's why the beginning portion's not that
Okay.
exaggerated.
So this is all of our coaching session and what your equity curve did. It obviously took a
Yep.
drastic shit. And then we saw some sort of recovery. Something happened in his personal life where this yellow line is, but he's starting to recover, which is good. Um, so I marked a yellow line where big event happened in my life, the week and a half fiasco of replacing hot water heater, which stressed you out. I allowed this to put myself on tilt so much I avoided trading completely to prevent more damage, which was good. You stepped out because for days because you realized how upset
Yeah.
you were. So
Actually,
I
what
would
I
say that's
did
a
for a
win.
couple,
That's
what
an
I
absolute win, man. I mean, congrats, because this has happened multiple times. You're starting to get into the habit of stepping out when shit is going wrong. And that's
yeah, like
very
being
difficult.
aware.
That was very difficult for me in the past. And the fact that you're doing that is a win.
Mhm.
Anyways, go ahead. You were trying to say something.
No, I was just saying that I avoided for the when it happened, I avoided trading for the first few days, but for at least 2 or 3 days that I didn't trade my account we're tracking, I traded. I would just trade the day on the side account, and because I got so flustered to where I almost like lost everything. I remember writing you that it was like when I came back, it was almost like I had analysis paralysis where everything just looked like a blob. It just all looked the same. I couldn't differentiate stuff. So for a couple days, I just had my side account, was trying different things a little bit, trying, just trying different things, holding longer, holding shorter, blah blah blah, and just getting comfortable again. And like uh in Talladega Nights when he gets all that PTSD and they go through those exercises to get him back racing again,
Yeah.
I kind of had to like rehab myself to get back. And the last 2 days of this month I had green days, and the even better fact is that I didn't look at the end of or the beginning of last week to see if I would be green or not, or if I even was. I had no idea. And I remember knowing that there were 2 days left to the month. And if it was a month ago, knowing there were 2 days left, I would have had at least a little pressure to finish green or finish good.
Yeah.
And I'm just starting to finally disconnect with all the subconscious things, because I've always said I don't pay attention to P&L. I don't care about dollars. It's just a video game. You can say that all you want, but your mind can play tricks on you and still do things you
Oh,
think you're not.
absolutely. Well, here's what's interesting that's happening is at some point you're going to get consistent and you're going to be trading live money. There will be a point in time where you're going to hit a slump, and it could go on for a week or even a month. And because it's happened to me 2 summers ago, it was bad. Psychologically, it was fucked up to the point I actually thought about quitting. So what I want you to understand is like the whole thing with the water heater, and just feeling this way. It's good that you're kind of experiencing these traumatic things that are fucking with you emotionally.
Because it's kind of like a test almost, right?
Exactly. And what is going to happen is the more you go through that cycle of just, because there's been multiple periods where I've talked to you off camera and you've been down and you've
Yeah.
not been feeling good about certain things.
Hmm.
There could be a full week of you just feeling like
And
shit.
honestly, a lot of it is personal life stuff. Most of it, to be honest. When I watched Frozen's video on how he found his edge, it really hit home. There were a couple parts, one of them where he talks about the trauma and just how it kind of relates to skewed risk and stuff. And yeah, you really, I touch on it a little bit in this write-up, but yeah, you really have to have have your shit straight, or else how you gonna think straight, you know?
Yeah, and what's good about you feeling experiencing all this bullshit is you're going to start to get more desensitized to it. And the more desensitized to, I mean, it's kind of like I've often heard this from people who've been in wars. When you're getting shot at, it's fucking scary as fuck. But the more you spin in the battlefield, the more you get shot at, the less it fucking phases you. And sometimes you might even laugh when it doesn't even fucking hit you. You know what I mean? When it came
Oh yeah,
close.
you'll see people that have, been in, or on how many tours or whatever, and there's bullets flying over them, and they're just not even flinching.
So the more you experience these really emotional fuck yous, and just real quick, this is the video he's referring to. It's Frozen Tundra's channel.
Yeah, it's a
How I found
great
Edge. I suggest watching it. I have 2 interviews on my channel with him, but it's a good video. But
Yeah, definitely.
so it's good that you're experiencing these moments of downturn emotionally, because you're going to hit a slump when you're consistent and you're going to get through it. And because there's brief periods where I might have issues in my trading, but I know that I'll always get through it at this point.
Yeah.
and that's good because
Which is that's great confidence.
well,
That's how to look at it. That's how you
because
should look
you
at it.
can let one of two things happen, and this goes back to the story of my car breaking down in the morning. I can't fucking do anything about it. All I can do is fix it. And I have two things. I can sit there and let it eat away at me, and I can get pissed off,
Which
stay
is what
angry,
the
and just
old
keep
me
thinking.
would do.
Yeah, exactly. Now, and that's the thing is like, yeah,
I'd let it ruin my fucking day.
the water heater's broken. There's nothing you can do about it. But you know what? Taking cold showers is a Wim Hof method, and it's actually healthy for you. So maybe you can look at it from that perspective of, you know what? Cold showers are healthy for you, so maybe I can enjoy it. But it's also like a bad trade or even a good trade. You need to just forget it and move on, man. So it's good that you're experiencing this because I think
It's opening me up to a whole different side that I need to work on in a good way.
Also, the thing is, I think traders who experience luck in the beginning and who have things working out so well for them right off the bat, that's not good because they're going to start to experience these really traumatic events in their trading or their personal life that fucks with their trading, and they don't know how to handle it. They've not developed the skill set to handle that. And I think those of you who are struggling and you've been struggling for God knows how long, that's good because over time, it's not good if you're not actively trying to work towards bettering yourself. But all that struggle is good, and not having anything in trading come easy because that's where the learning begins, and you really start to craft yourself into a stronger person mentally and shit. And that's just something you can't teach. You just have to experience it. So, yeah, man. Let's continue to look at all of this. So we looked at, where was that equity curve? Oh, that's the wrong thing. So after going through my statistics, a lot were as expected in a great way in several different aspects. The setups I naturally favored the most not only were used the most, but ended up holding a decent win percent after 3 months. Fat Cat did tell me not to get too excited about how my average win rates for my top 5 use setups at the end of the month. One was like 60 and you had 90%. So, and that's the thing. You had high win rates after the first month, but I told you they were going to start to go down. So don't get too excited. After more sample sizes have come, I'm happy with how the percentages held, with the few different weeks or days of tilt issues I had. I really thought this would damage my data and stats hard. I naturally like shorting more. I always have since I started futures. A lot of my different short plays are starting to show some edge. Now I have to focus on gaining more knowledge on each play. And my style to increase my edge. My favorite setups to play are demand fails, supply breakouts, demand fails, and breakdowns. And listen, guys, as Slim Trady starts to hone in on his edge and really starts to craft it and develop it, we'll eventually do videos where he showcases that style of stuff. And Dapper is in here, and I just want to shout out to Dapper. Staying confident and optimistic through slumps and periods of extreme highs has been the most difficult part of my career. Great job putting these abstract contexts into understandable experiences. And just Dapper, he's an options trader. Dapper, if you'd like to plug yourself, you feel free. And thank you, Tenzin. I love your videos and really appreciate you sharing so much. Dapper, I'd also like to do another interview with you in the future. I just want to throw that out there for the record. Because I was having issues when we tried to do it once. Anyways, not to go off track too much. If you have a YouTube, guys, click on his stuff. But yeah, it's somebody in the trading community I actually really like. So anyways, as breakout traders naturally, just let's see. Since July, first demand fail and supply fail are both 50% of my top 2 use plays. Supply breakout going is 44%, which isn't bad in my personal opinion, but I know I can get that number up. And these are him talking about the statistics on playbook setups. This is because in September, it's a win rate of 66%. So it did... Okay, 5-minute breakdown from... so I'm going to kind of skim through this a little bit. Also, my favorite plays that I don't come up as much are 3-bar plays. The past 3 months, 3-bar, short 5M. So it's a weird word because he's abbreviating the playbook setup. That was only used 12 times, but it hits 66% of the time. Let me ask you this. On this specific play, the 3-bar pullback short 5-minute, you didn't use it as much. Do you think you're just not paying attention to it as much? Or do you think...
I think it's more because my style has been shifting a little bit. I've been using the 30-second and the 1 minute a lot more.
Okay. Maybe that could be a higher time frame thing you could use the lower time frames to get into, potentially. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
To me, you're using smaller time frames. You're starting to read more noise, which I like because that's what I do. Mm-hmm. So you're not really looking for that as much. So that could be a higher time frame. You might be able to time in with your smaller. I just want to throw that out there since you're not using it as much.
Yeah, that's good.
One big goal of mine over time is to continue to improve at reading order flow. I'm happy to see that my order flow related setup data comprehend completed auction has used a total of 34 times, so that's a setup, and won 67% of the time. And we're going to actually see the hard stats below, as well as my DOM. Let's see. I'm going to kind of skim through this. I know I do have edge in the market. I trade with the setups I have created and track. Now should continue to find small but very valuable things that will help me dial these setups up, allow me to gauge when there's more edge in the play. So let's kind of actually look at it via this. So setups for September, we have demand fell 45 trades out of 48%. 30-second breakdown. That must be a newer trade playbook.
Yeah,
setup.
I added that. I think I'm month 2.
So 57. I mean, you're having solid win rates. Cut by hand. Oh wait, these are tags.
Yeah, that the cut by hand. I forgot to filter that out, so just ignore that.
So okay.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
that shouldn't be in there. The rest of these are specific break.
Yup.
Okay.
Yeah, because
So these are playbook names.
I was supposed to filter that out. Yup.
So the demand fail seems to be something you take often.
Mm-hmm.
Mid cross short, 20% win rate. What the fuck was that?
That one got added at the beginning of September, I believe, and I haven't used it too much. Sorry,
I want to get rid of it completely because you only have 5 trades on it.
I really like how price reacts around the mid-level. So honestly, I just haven't taken it lately because I just haven't really been feeling it. I felt like there hasn't been quality there. I really don't think I've been staying away. I wouldn't say I've been staying away from it. So it's still in my playbook for sure.
And just so you guys know, I don't know that much about his specific trading. So like these setups, I'm not.
Like I never explain these to Fat Cat. I never,
But the thing is, you're starting to see edge in them, which is good. So these are tags I'm highly interested in right here. So these are the tags where we're talking about the entries. So let's look at your entries. So, those are July, September. Okay, good. So you graded your entries, and in July, your good entry went from 74% to 68%. That's average. It actually dropped ever so slightly. But you took way higher sample sizes. So we went from 27 trades to 114 to 46. So you did drop down on the average a little bit. We thought your entries would have been a problem, but it doesn't seem like it's too big of a deal. Let's look at your exits. No, you have exit early. I'm just trying to see how you lay this out. So exit good was 100%, but now it's dropped a bit. So you feel your exits for the most part are pretty good.
Yeah, I'm exit wise, I'm being way more safe than sorry. I'm like I
Do you feel you're not holding long enough, or are you happy with your exits?
yeah,
Like you're taking off where you
yeah.
should.
I I I feel like I'm exiting early. A lot of times where I end up exiting, it may end up being a good exit, but
Oh, I
I
see.
I definitely need to learn to when it's time to hold for longer, because especially because that's where there's money to be made.
Okay, I see. You have a 95% on exit early for 23 trades. So, and what are the total trade count for the month?
Let me scroll up. September was 131.
Okay, I see. So all these numbers. So if I add 23 plus 47, that should be your total, right? No, it won't. It's pretty.
No, just because
I
just
see. I
'cause
see
some
what's going
trades,
on. I
yeah.
got you. Your exit late is only 17%, so that's good. So you are exiting a little too early.
hmm Yeah, I'm just trying to lock in profits as of this point, but now I'm
So
would like to
let's
hold longer.
and the where's your cuts by hand? Oh, it's up
Uh,
here. Okay. No, you're good. You're good. So unfortunately on TraderSync, I'm unable to compare tags, for example, pairing entry good with all my winners. This is a huge setback as I've been trying to process this data from these tags. But I'm not able to tell which ones. Let's see. Let me just skim it. I exited late a lot on the past 3 months, which is definitely a red flag that needs to be worked on. So let's actually talk about that. You're trading 3 lots, right?
yeah.
Maybe you could cut 2. Exit late. Cut 2 where you normally would and let a core run.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, okay, you're doing that? Okay.
Yeah, and I've been that core one, I've been tagging as a runner so I can see how that core is doing.
But I know it should have been. Let's see. Cut. Give me a second, guys. One key thing I need to work on from this data is that although I don't think exiting early is necessarily a bad thing, I want to be able to hold longer when the time and environment calls for it. Of course, getting the best entries is likely at number 1 on my list. So for me, when I started transitioning into holding, it became very it was not easy. It was very difficult. And I still struggle with it, but I've gotten a lot better. So it's going to take time and experience to get better at it. Entries like this. Cutting potential bad trades a hand. Best entries, work on best entries possible, stay in the trade longer in the right environments, cutting by hand when it does not go my way immediately or shows sign of weakness in the setup. Find best areas of emergency stop based on RR. To conclude this review, I am overall happy with how my first 3 months have gone. Things have been slowly but surely starting to feel more organic each day. It feels like my learning curve. So I'm going to not finish that. I do want to talk about your, do you think you need to add new tags this month? Let's talk about that. Do you think you need to add new tags? Are you there?
So sorry, I bumped mute. You said were you asking do I or were you
Yeah, do you
saying
do you think you need to add new hashtags this month?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna add at least the attempt number like 1, 2, and 3 for a setup. I
Okay.
didn't end up adding it last month just because I felt I was giving myself a little too much. I wanted one more month of tagging the tags I have
So
to
how
because
many
I don't want
tries
it
you're
to.
taking on each attempt, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
like
add
one
that.
like
Let's add that. Let's not add anything else. Let's add that, but continue to use what you're using because I think in this report you're not showing me every fucking tag, are you? You just kind of cherry picked?
uh
Or is that
I'm
every
trying.
tag?
It's pretty much every tag. Yeah. I forgot the runner. But besides, or like target hit and stop hit, I didn't do those two.
You didn't
But
you weren't hashtagging those or you didn't add them
no,
to the
no,
report.
I didn't add them to this. So I left stop hit and target hit out. I
But you're tagging. You're tagging those, correct?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm tagging them. Yeah, that's
Okay.
why I didn't add the first, second, third last month because I wanted to make it mechanical as fuck to where I put target hit, stop hit. I would have hated to be worried about first, second, third and forgetting to put stop hit, you know.
Okay, so what we're going to do is so it really seems the hesitation on exits is a huge issue. So we have two things that I'm thinking for the okay, for the monthly goal, here's what we're going to do. We're going to visualize the report card. So for the first week, you and I are going to do at the close, you and I need to go through your report card and we're going to relive each day and then that's going to be your primary goal. As far as
Okay.
creating a new hypnosis track, what do you think your nightly hypnosis track will be? Because I don't think journaling is an issue anymore. You're doing it.
Something that will help me sit on hands or patience
Do you
related. I
think
know that
patience
for sure.
or do you think the exits of your trades? Do you want to do your exits on the trades or do you
Pa
patience?
Patience for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we want to do patience, and what I'll
Because
do.
I think exits are more something that just comes with screen time more than being a like a I don't know, patience being a skill, you know, that you have to learn. So
So what can you give me more detail on the patience? Like what exactly do you want to do that's more patient in your trading? And we're gonna be wrapping it up here soon, guys. But what exactly do you want to be more patient with in your trading? Can you kind of paint a picture for me? Like sitting on
yeah, to
hands, but like what you're obviously not over
when it
trading. So what exactly do you need your patience for?
okay, you're right, because I'm not over trading. It might sound weird because you have to have patience to not overtrade,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's a patience and confidence combination thing because I have the patience now, but I'm not fully confident in my patience, if that makes sense.
Are you
Like
not confident in the setups?
yeah, it's kind of a little yeah, I guess that's more it now that
So
I
you're
think
not
about
confident
it.
in the setups.
Yeah, that now that I think about it, it's more of that. So that'd be more just dialing in my setups or my style edge.
Now you're not confident in your setups because we haven't figured out all the nuances to them yet.
There's just still a little piece inside of me that when I sit down and I see the market moving, it's like there's someone in the back of my head saying, take a trade, take a trade, take a trade. So that's the only reason why I mentioned patience is there's still that little voice in my head that's saying, pull the trigger, pull the trigger.
I think my camera died. Yeah, we lost the fucking camera. So what yeah, the camera is dead. So what I want to do is I want to wrap it up here, guys. Unfortunately, that happened. And I'm gonna shut the stream off because I record with a cell phone and the battery just died on it. But Slim, you and I are gonna continue to talk. What we're going to do is Here, let's actually wait a second. You guys should still be seeing this on stream. Let's see if this pops up. So it just won't be my face, so we'll kind of keep that going on. Let me double check. There it goes. Okay, cool. We at least have something, so the camera fucking died on me. Okay, there we go. So we'll kind of keep that up. So it's not a black screen. So what I think we'll do is continue this conversation here. So you're not. You have a voice in the back of your head that's telling you to trade, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It just wants me to be a part of the market, you know, rather than staying out and waiting to strike.
I see. But at the same time, we need to develop the confidence through more experience.
Mm-hmm. So they kind of go hand in hand.
Maybe we do need to do the hypnosis track about being a sniper and waiting, but we just listen to that more frequently. Would you?
I agree. I was actually already thinking that because.
So can you craft up? We'll do it now, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into a meditative state. We're gonna record it.
I think I actually have here. Let me really fast pull up this one affirmation I made. It might actually be perfect.
Okay, can you send it to me in Discord and we'll take a look at it?
Yeah.
And send it through our personal, not the three-way.
Okay, no, it's just the it's still an FLP. I don't have an MP3 for it.
Okay, that's okay. We'll so give me the lines you want to use.
All right, one sec.
What exactly would you like to say in this affirmation deck? Because this is going to be a deck you're going to use for 60 trading days.
I'm not any suggestions.
I can help you. Okay, so let's do this together. So you're patient, right? You want to work on patience. The market is telling you to trade, so that's an issue. So let's kind of what I'll do is let me pull up a notepad so everybody can see me typing this up. And I'll bring it onto screen. So let's see. So the problem is, issue is market price action is telling you to trade. So what is the opposite of that? When I see the market move and get volatile,
there we go.
This
Yeah,
is an optical illusion.
Don't fall for it or something.
I know that this isn't my trade.
There we go. That's.
And I wait patiently. Do you want to use the sniper analogy?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love
Patiently,
that.
like a sniper on a mountaintop. Let's see. I know this isn't my trade, and I wait patiently like a sniper on the mountaintop.
Yeah, that really the way you worded it really gives you a good visual of situation.
Much like a sniper who uses, let's see, and this is gonna subject to change, who uses one shot to make the kill. I wait for my one shot to execute. Let's see, I'm extremely good at this. Why is this shit going off to the side? Okay. Let's see, I'm extremely good at this. We can change it. So when I see the market move and get volatile, this is an optical illusion. because we need to keep this kind of in perspective, like a positive mindset. So when I see the market move and get volatile, this is an optical illusion. I know that this isn't my trade, and I wait patiently like a sniper on the mountain. Much like a sniper who uses one shot to make the kill, I wait for my one shot to execute. I am extremely good at this. So we're going to hype you up here. So I am extremely good at this. My emotions stay neutral. I execute. Let's see. You can throw something out there. So you're extremely good at this. Your emotions stay in neutral.
Until
I execute without the slightest hesitation
or doubt.
When the trade is yeah, we can do that. Slightest hesitation or doubt when the trade is ready, or when the setup is there. I only wait for my trade setups and nothing else, because this is what I did to become a 7-figure trader. Because we need to keep that in there, 7-figure trader. You know what I mean? Because the last Hypnosis track, we talked about being a 7-figure trader. We need to keep that in there.
Yeah, and like I told you, I actually believe that that's me talking to myself.
So let's go ahead, and I'm going to send that to you in Discord. I want you to kind of review it, and what would you like to change about it?
When I see the market move and get volatile, this is an optical illusion. I know that this isn't my trade, and I wait patiently like a sniper on a mountain. Much like a sniper uses one shot to make the kill, I wait for my one shot to execute. I'm extremely good at this. My emotions stay neutral. I execute without the slightest hesitation or doubt when the setup is there. I only wait for my trade setups and nothing else, because this is what I do. Let me see.
Now, this is going to be the next major track.
You said anything I want to change on this?
Yeah. Or? What do you want to change?
Slightest hesitation out.
What do you want to change?
Maybe instead of saying when the setup is there, say maybe something that's more like in real time, like when the setup is playing out, or I don't know. It's pretty.
I execute without the slightest hesitation or doubt when the setup.
When the markets are moving, I don't know, because I feel like that's the problem, is when with all the chaos and the price moving, is like that's when I start to freeze,
Okay, so maybe when you're set up.
But then again, we do acknowledge that with the optical illusion part, so
but also at the same time when the setup is there. With that specific,
I see it.
Yeah, with that specific line, we're saying the setup is there. The setup is there, and because there are times where you take the trade and you're like, this is the setup, and it is there. So
yeah, that's
anything
perfect.
else you want to fuck with on it?
No, that's perfect.
Okay, so what we want to do is I'm going to record this. Chaos at the let's see, I'm gonna record just this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of go into a let me hit the record button. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go into another meditative shit like we did in the prior Hypnosis track. So let's just do a couple of deep breaths together. Let's close our eyes. Let's get relaxed. Because I'm going to have you do the lines, and then I'm going to record it, okay?
All right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of become this.
Yeah, just like the last one, right?
So, yeah. So close your eyes, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of deep breaths in, and I want you to just hold it for a second. Breathe out. And when you breathe out, I want you to feel relaxed. On the next breath in, I want you to just feel the confidence coming in. So breathe in. We're confident. We're confident. We are a 7-figure trader. Hold it. You're a 7-figure trader. Breathe out all the doubts. And we're going to take another breath deep. Just feel good on it. Hold it. Breathe out all the doubts. Okay, keep your eyes closed. I want you to just kind of visualize being patient. What does being patient feel like to you? What does that look like in your trading? You're sitting at your desk. You're looking at the charts. Okay, you're seeing the setups. What does it feel like when there is a good setup? I want you to go back into your memory and look at every setup where you were extremely confident. What does that feel like? What does that look like? What does the order flow look like? Is it fast? Is it slow? How do you feel about it? Do you feel super confident in it? Are you slightly not confident? You execute the trade. How are you managing that? What does the order flow look like? We're in the trade. This is the setup. What does it feel like? Is it dancing near your entry? Is it working out immediately? How are your emotions when it's not working out immediately? Are you stone cold? You're stone cold. You don't care. This is the setup. You are only going to react to the order flow. Now the trade is working out. You take some off. The trade hesitates. It's coming back a little bit. We continue to hold it. We don't let our emotions fuck with us. We do not panic cut it because you are a stone cold killer. Now the trade is working out in our favor and we cut it at the next target. Maybe there's an example where it does come back and we cut it for a break even. That's okay because we're going to wait and we're going to forget about what just happened. I want you to just now kind of go into the visual of being the sniper. What does the sniper look like? He's on a mountaintop. He lays there in his own piss and feces for weeks, observing the targets, watching the targets move. When do they come in? When do they come out? When is the right time to pull the trigger? This is the order flow when it's manic, when it's volatile. None of that shit matters. You're observing and waiting. You are building a narrative. You are building context. Now you see the target. You see the setup. You raise the rifle, and you have your finger on the trigger. And right at that right moment when the trade tells you this could be it, the setup is here. You do not hesitate. You pull the trigger, and there are no emotions. You took the trade. You're in the trade. All right? This is your setup. So what I want you to do is I want you to read that line I sent you, and I want every word you're reading to really impact you. When I see the market move and get volatile, this is an optical illusion. Think about that for a second. When you see the market move and get volatile, it is an optical illusion. There is no setup there. There is nothing there for you. I know that this isn't my trade, and I wait patiently like a sniper on a mountain. You are waiting for the target. If that takes a couple of hours, 30 minutes, however long you need to wait there, you're going to wait. Much like a sniper who uses one shot to make the kill, I wait for my one shot to execute. Picture the target going into the crosshair and you're taking a headshot. You know that this is the brief window to hit it. You know that this is the setup. You have watched it, you have observed it, and you've watched it with purposeful focus. The sniper doesn't sit on the mountaintop and look at Facebook on his cell phone. The sniper looks at the target, studies his movement, his mannerisms. Does he smoke a cigarette a specific way before he takes a headshot? So you're extremely good at this. I want you to feel yourself being good at this. You're a fucking master at taking headshots. You're a master at shooting the fucking shot when you're supposed to do it. And you don't shoot at any other time. You're a professional. And when you do make the kill. Your emotions are neutral. I don't care if the trade loses, wins, you are neutral because this is the setup. You are a stone cold killer. You stay neutral. You execute without the slightest hesitation. When that moment is there, you pull the fucking trigger. And what happens, happens. And that is where risk management comes into play, like cutting your trade by hand. You take the fucking shot. You don't hesitate. You do what you have to do when you're supposed to do it. And you never hesitate. Your emotions aren't wild. You are in the moment. The trade has showed itself. It has talked to you. You took it. So you only wait for your trade setup. You only wait for it, nothing else, because this is what you did to become a 7-figure trader. I want you to visualize you being the 7-figure trader. You can do that. Go to that place now. You've been doing that. What does that look like? What does being a 7-figure trader look like? What does that lifestyle look like? What kind of car are you driving? Where are you living? What kind of house? What does that feel like? It feels good to actually have money. But what did it take to get there? All right, so now when you're ready, hit me with reading it. I want every word you say really feed itself into your soul. So whenever you're ready, go for it.
All right. When I see the market move and get volatile, this is an optical illusion. I know that this is not my trade, and I wait patiently like a sniper that's on top of a mountain. Much like a sniper who uses one single shot to make the kill, I wait for my one shot to execute. I'm extremely good at this. My emotions stay neutral. I execute without the slightest hesitation or doubt when the setup is there. I only wait for my trade setups and nothing else because this is what I did to become a 7-figure trader.
I mean, that was pretty good. I think you one-shotted that. Do you want to do it again?
Yeah, let's just do one more just in case.
All right.
Just
Before, don't do it right away. Get back into that. You're the sniper. Let's take a couple of breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Breathe in. And when the sniper takes a shot, they always do it on the exhale. Breathe out. Now go for the kill.
When I see the market move and get volatile, this is an optical illusion. I know that this is not my trade, and I wait patiently like a sniper that's on top of a mountain. Much like a sniper who uses one single shot to make the kill, I wait for my one shot to execute. I'm extremely good at this. My emotions stay neutral. I execute without the slightest hesitation or doubt when the setup is there. I only wait for my trade setups and nothing else, because this is what I did to become a 7-figure trader.
That was pretty good. How do you feel about it?
Pretty good, pretty close to the first one. I think they're both probably
All right.
good enough to make
We'll
the
use
cut
that.
for sure.
Now I need you to figure out what kind of background you want to it.
You could just, because
This
this
is a
for
sleepy
nighttime,
track.
right?
It's a sleepy
Yeah,
track.
just keep the waves or the water.
Okay. And then that's
Yeah.
what we'll do. And guys, that's him creating a hypnosis track. Come back to this video. I'm going to privatize the video and pull it briefly because I need to get the description and everything right. But when the video comes back publicly, go in the description to hear the completed track. He will be listening to this at night for the next couple of months, and we'll see how it affects him. But anyways, I think that's that. Do you have any last-minute comments or anything like that?
No, I think we pretty much touched a lot of different areas. So yeah, no, I don't have too much to add to that.
All right, cool, man. Well, thanks for everybody who showed up in the stream and shit. I'm gonna probably do more.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks to everyone for
live
coming
streams
out.
and shit. But anyways, we will see you guys in the next episode.